Hi guys, it's Miss Gilreath. I'm here to do a couple of things with you today. We're going to talk about rounding. So we're going to do a review of rounding. I know that you've done rounding before, so this is not the first time that you've heard of it. And then we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about the value of a digit and where a digit would come on our place value chart. Okay, so let's look at our rounding rhyme real quick. And then we'll talk about a couple other things and do some practice. Rounding rhyme. Find your place, look next door, 5 or greater, add one more. All the digits in the front stay the same. All the digits behind, 0 is your name. So what in the world does that mean we round a number? That means we want to get a number close to a certain place value spot. Okay, so when you are rounding a number, they are going to tell you you need to round to the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, or 100,000s. Just like our place value chart, it does go up to millions, but in 4th grade, we do 100,000s only. So when you are asked to round to a certain place value spot, you need to know the order: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, and then the millions place. Okay, so when you're asked to round to a certain place value spot, okay, find your number, it's going to be in one of these place value spots. So if they said, if we had a number like this, for instance, okay, and it said round your number to the nearest hundreds, we would know that we would underline the number in the hundreds place, and then we would round from there. Okay, so when they say find your number that is in the, you're gonna round your number to a certain place value spot, that's the number that you're going to underline. So if we said round your number to the nearest 100,000, we would come over here to our 100,000 place and we would underline that. And that is the number that's going to tell us either to round up or to round down. Okay, so we want to make sure that you understand that first. All right, let's take our rounding rhyme here. Now, some of you guys may have heard a different version, or you may have your own way, your own little song or saying to remind you how to round, and that's fine. We're just going to use this one today. So if you're asked to round a number, let's take a number like 746. Okay, they have to tell you what place value spot they want you to round to. Okay, so if they said, I want you to round 746 to the nearest tens place. Okay, so what is your job then when you round? We've got to find the tens place. So we know our place value chart and we understand place value. Ones, tens. So we're going to underline the number that is in the tens place because we've been asked to round that number, okay, or get that number close to the closest tens. All right, so let's follow our rhyme. Find your place. We found our place. It told us tens. We underlined it. Look next door. We're going to look to the right, the place value spot to the right. And that's going to tell us what to do with the number in the tens place or whichever place you've been asked to round to. Find your number, look next door. If the number next door is 5 or greater, you're going to add one more to the number you underlined. Okay? Now, if you have numbers in the front, they don't change. Okay, so find your number. 4 was in the tens place. Look next door. Okay, it is 5 or greater. So we're going to change the number we underlined. We're going to add one more. We're going to change it to 5. Now, the number in front, if you have any numbers in front, they're just going to stay the same. We're not even talking or touching them. So they stay the same. And all the numbers to the right, 0 is their name. Okay? 0 is their name. So we just rounded 746 to the nearest tens place. Okay. When you're watching this video, we may have already talked about this, but this is another way to think about it. If we're rounding 746 to the nearest tens it's either going to round down to 740 or round up to 750, okay? So we find our halfway point, which would be 745. It's right in between 740, 750. And 746 would come probably about right there, okay? So find your number, look next door, 5 or greater, we added one more. So even if you look at it on the number line, where would it fall? It would fall greater than the halfway point, okay, which is 745, and we would round it up. So we did that correctly, okay? We did that correctly. All right, let's try to round a number where we go up a little bit higher. Okay, now remember, when you're rounding, they're going to tell you what place value spot they want you to round to. So we're going to say in the number 12,462, we are being asked to round to the closest 10,000. So what do? We find our place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Okay, and we underline that. Actually, I'm going to change that right there. So we changed our number a little bit. All right, so to the nearest 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So that is our find your place. That's where they told us we wanted to round to the closest 10,000. All right, so here we go. Look next door. Okay, we've got a 2. 5 or greater, add one more. It is not greater than 5 or 5 or greater. 2 is not 5 or greater. So the 4 is going to stay the same because when we look next door, it did not tell us we had to round up. Okay, we're going to round down, and everything else is going to be a 0. So 42,462 rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 40,000. Okay, so if we looked on our rounding number line, we were going to either round to 40,000 or 50,000. 45,000 was right in the middle, and we know that 42,462 is less than 45,000, which would be in the middle. And so that is where it stops. Okay. Let's look at one last one. Okay. If we are asked to round 42 to the nearest tens, find your place, looking at the tens place, rounding to the nearest tens place, we underline it. Find your number, look next door. Is it 5 or greater? No. So the 4 stays the same, and everything to the right is a 0. Okay, so 42, find your number, look next door. It is not 5 or greater, so the number stays the same, and then everything else turns to 0. Okay, now we're going to be moving on. Now that you had a little refresher on rounding, we're going to be talking about finding a number, okay? And it is asking you what place value spot that it is in, okay? So a place value spot would be ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000. That is a place value spot on our place value chart, okay? What place value spot does it come in? So your answer is going to be ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, or 100,000s, okay? All right, so let's look at this one. In the number 1,278, the 7 is in what place value spot? So what I might do is I have a 4-digit number. So I would write my 4 digits just like here. 4 spots, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. I would plug in my number. And they're asking us about the 7. They're asking us about the 7. So what place value spot? Ones, tens. So the 7 is in the tens place. The 7 is in the tens place. On your place value chart, what spot is the 7 in? So if we use your strategy where you write out lines for however many digits you have in your number, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and label your place value spots, just circle the number they're asking you about, and there you have your answer. So our answer would be in the tens place. The tens place, okay? All right, let's try one more. Okay, scoot that up a little bit. All right, in the number 27,402, the 2 is in what place value spot? Okay, that means on our place value chart, where is the 2? The 2. Oh, let's make this a 7. A 7. Okay, so here we go. 27,407. Let's plug it in. 27,407. Okay, now ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. You can just do a 10,000 right there. Okay, a 10,000. Okay, all right, it asks us where the 2 is. What place value spot is the 2? So if we have written our lines out, we have plugged in our number, we know that the 2 is in the 10,000 spot. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000 spot. So our answer would be 10,000 spot. That is where our 2 is, okay? So when you're asking what place value spot does it go in, you're going to remember your place value chart and where does that number fall. Our best strategy is to draw out the place value lines. If you need to write the place value names underneath, and then you can just find your answer, okay? All right, we're going to do one more together and then we're going to move on. Okay, if we had the number 147,296, okay, and they said what place value spot is the 1 in, okay? So we're looking for the place value spot of the 1, okay? So here would be our strategy. If we had it right just like this, we could just go ahead and underline it. We could write ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. We could write 10,000 and 100,000. We're just labeling the place value spots, just like on our place value chart. Okay, so they're asking us about the 1. I'm going to circle my 1. And I know that my 1 is in the 100,000s because I've written it underneath, and that is my strategy. So my answer would be, when you're asked what place value spot is a certain number in, for this one it's 1, it would be in the 100,000s, okay? All right, so now this can get a little tricky, so we're gonna move on, okay? The next word we're going to work on is value, okay? And when I talk about value, I want us to remember about money. How much is something worth? It's, you say, what is the value of that computer game? It might be $210. What is the value of your favorite book? How much did you buy it for? You might have bought the book for $8. The value of the book might be $8. That is how much it is worth. So when we're talking about value, I want you to remember the word worth and think about money. All right. Now, here is a question that you might see. It might say, what is the value? There's that word, of the underlined digit. Remember, a digit is just a number. But there's our bing bing word right there. Value, money. How much is it worth? Okay, so if we have the number 1,000, oh, let's do a easier one to start out with. 476, and they have the 4 underlined. Okay, the underlined digit is, the 4 is the underlined digit. Okay, what is the value? So how much is it worth? So let's look here, and we might say, we know that this is the ones, the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. We know that from our place value chart. So 4 hundreds, what is the value if we had 4 hundreds? So we think about money, okay? If I had 4 $100 bills, how much would it be worth? 4 in the hundreds place. 100, 200, 300, 400. So if I gave you 4 $100 bills, $100 bills, it would be, the value would be 400. 476. The value of the 4 is 400. Okay, let's do another one. What is the value of the underlined digit? Okay, value money. It's not what place value spot. It's not going to be thousands, okay, because it's not in the thousands place. So let's look at the value. So we would come down here and say ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place. What is the value? How much is it worth if I gave you $1,000 bill? 1,000. So the 1, the underlined digit, is worth 1,000 because there is 1 in the thousands spot. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, value. Okay. Okay, what is the value of the underlined digit? Now, if we come down here, ones, tens, 3 is in the hundreds, 9 is in the thousands, 10 is in the 10,000s, and 4 is in the 100,000s. Now I'm abbreviating here, okay? Just like your place value chart, okay? So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. I'm going to change this to a different color so we know that this is the underlined digit, okay? So we want to know, we've just done this to make it a little bit easier for you. Okay, we want to know what is the value of the underlined digit, which is the 4, okay? So 400,000s. Let's think about money. If I gave you 4 $100,000 bills, how much would the value be? 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. So if I gave you $400,000 bills, the value would be 400,000. or if we were thinking about money, it would be $400,000 bill. Now, what place value spot would be the 100,000s, but the value is 400,000. So that's the big thing you want to remember. The value is how much it is worth, and the place value spot is where does it fall on our place value chart. Okay, so I hope that helps you to understand a little bit. Our rounding rhyme: find your place, look next door, 5 or greater, add one more. All the digits in front stay the same. All the digits behind or to the right, 0 is their name. Okay, and we also talked about place value spot on our chart, place value chart, and also the value of a digit. The value of a digit. Okay, I hope that helps, and we will talk to you soon.